The Lakers preseason has come to a close and everyone is buzzing about the purple and gold, so I thought it would be a perfect time to do a mailbag Q&A. You're watching Lakers Report by Chat Sports, all things Lakers. What's up, Laker fam? I'm your host, Hannah Kulik, aka Laker Ham, and I am so excited because on today's episode of Lakers Report, I'm going to be answering all of your questions. I asked you to send me some questions on Twitter. I got a ton, so I want to get right into it. But before I do, I need to remind you guys to hit that subscribe button down below so that you do not miss a single second when it comes to our Los Angeles Lakers. And while you're at it, go ahead and give me a follow on my Instagram at Hannah Rose Kulik and my Twitter at Hannah_Kulik. Not only to keep up with some Lakers and some fitness. If you know me, you know I love to post workout videos and fitness tips on my socials as well, but also just so that you do not miss out and you are able to participate in the next time I do a mailbag Q&A, because I'm going to be doing a ton of these throughout the season and I want to make sure that you are able to submit a question and participate in these Q&As. But let's just get right into these questions so I can answer as many as possible. So I have them all right here. The first question is from at Ryan M. Spencer 1. He says, what were your impressions of the play of Quinn Cook, AD, JaVale McGee, and Dwight Howard? I've been extremely impressed with all of those guys. Quinn Cook was a guy that I was upset about because he was injured for the beginning of the preseason and he wasn't able to play until the second to last game. So I was upset about that just because I thought it was a good opportunity for him to be able to play. I was excited to watch him play, but he definitely didn't disappoint. And I think us Laker fans could all agree that the second he entered that game against Golden State a few days ago, he really made his mark. He was an outstanding shooter. He played with a ton of confidence, and I'm really excited because I think he's going to have a great season. I think he's possibly going to be able to get some pretty heavy minutes for us, especially if he continues to make the most of it like he did in that Golden State win. So definitely I was impressed with what I've seen so far from Quinn Cook. Of course, Anthony Davis, I've been extremely impressed. I've said it multiple times, but I really believe AD is going to have an unbelievable season, MVP type season, and also defensive player type of season. I think he's going to be a complete bona fide superstar and really establish himself as one of, if not the best player in the league. And then in terms of Dwight Howard, I've also been very impressed by what I've seen from Dwight Howard as of late. Obviously, in the beginning of the preseason, it did take him a little bit of time to kind of dust some of the rust off of him. Obviously, last season, he only played in 9 games. That was kind of to be expected. So he started off the preseason a little bit slow, but as of late, especially after they returned from China, he has really played well. He's really just stepped on the gas pedal. That first game back, he completely dominated. He was the player of the game by far for me. He had 12 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals, so he was really doing a lot, and he's also just played very well just in general. I've also just, besides his play and kind of seeing and watching him out on the court, I've really liked how he's handled himself with the media and just how he's handled himself off the court as well. I do think he really is humbled. I do think he is very grateful for this opportunity. So far I am loving what I'm seeing from Dwight Howard. Hopefully he can just continue it on as the season progresses, and he could definitely be the X factor for the Lakers and make a big contribution to this team. And then lastly, you wanted me to talk about JaVale. JaVale I have also been very impressed with. I think he's probably been our most consistent player throughout this entire preseason when you were looking at every single game. So he looks like he's in mid-season form. He's going to have a great year, and I'm very excited. So all of those players I've been very impressed with so far. Now moving on to the next question. This one is from at Lyric Money, and he asks, who's going to be the 5th starter alongside Braun, JaVale, AD, and Green? So right now I think it's looking like Avery Bradley is going to be the starting point guard, which is great because that is something I predicted, and I think it's hilarious because a lot of people thought I was crazy when I initially said that that would be the best position for the Lakers to have Bradley as that starting point guard. But again, he was that starter on opening night for the preseason, and then it looks like he is just going to be that starter on opening night when they play against the Clippers. I could be wrong, but I would just guess that it's going to be Avery Bradley at that starting point guard spot, which I think is the best fit for this Lakers team when you look at that starting lineup overall. Okay, and then these next 2 questions are a little similar. So the first one is from at Adrian WLA, and he asks, who's getting cut? And then at the Marie Kid asks, do you see the core of this group lasting this season? We know AD, Braun will be there, but do pieces like Bradley and Rondo and McGee last this season? or are we going to see another midseason attempt to trade most of the roster? I don't think there's going to be like a midseason attempt to trade most of the roster. If a guy or two will get moved, it's just going to have to depend on how the season starts. It's a little too early to tell. Right now, this group is looking like a very talented, deep roster, so don't think there's really anything that at the moment I can see us trading for. But again, we just have to see how that season plays out. A player that I think could potentially be moved could be KCP, just because he's kind of gotten off to this lackluster start like he always kind of does for the purple and gold, really ever since signing him. I've just really been disappointed in KCP. He's very inconsistent. I just don't think he's ever been as good as he was originally advertised. Now, that is going to depend though, of course, if once the season starts, if he continues on this kind of just lackluster, very kind of inconsistent play. And then of course, if the other guys that we have, like the Quinn Cooks, Troy Daniels, Avery Bradley, and all of our other guards just continue to play at a high level and are playing better than him, and he falls out of the rotation, we could look to see KCP being moved. Also, he does have one of the kind of bigger contracts, so we could potentially trade him for a player that would be able to make more of a contribution to this team. But we're just going to have to wait and see. And again, we wouldn't be able to trade KCP or any of our other free agents for that fact just until December, because there is that rule in the NBA that you are not allowed to trade a free agent that you signed this past summer until December. So we're just going to kind of have to wait and see. But I'm curious because I've actually been getting this question a lot, who I think the Lakers are going to trade. Do I think there are going to be any trades this season? And I want to ask you guys if you think there are going to be any trades this season. Comment down below and let me know if you think the Lakers are going to make any mid-season moves, and if so, who it would be. Now, I'm always very curious to hear what you guys have to say. I love talking to my Laker fam, so I'm going to be responding to all of the comments, so please make sure that you leave a comment down below and let me know what you have to say on whether or not the Lakers are going to trade for a specific player or who they are going to cut this season. These next two questions are asking about Quinn Cook and his role. So the first one is from @Delano1, and he says, with our starting lineup being Avery, Danny, LeBron, AD, McGee, and Cook being a huge case for backup point guard, where do you see Rondo fitting in going forward? And then @1_in_a_1million asks, I think Cook should be our bench point guard. He can shoot the ball and is a really nice in P&R action. So him and Dwight complement each other well. What's your opinion? So in terms of the first part, I definitely think Quinn Cook, obviously he made a huge splash in his Lakers debut. So he's going to be getting some minutes this season, especially if he continues to be able to be that knockdown three-point shooter that we've seen him be so far. He's definitely going to be getting a lot of minutes. Now, in terms of Rondo's role and how that fits in with Rondo, I think those two guys could play together because Quinn Cook is more of a shooter, obviously a scorer, but Rondo is more of a facilitator and ball handler. So I think Rondo coming off the bench would actually be really nice to play with that second unit and really lead the second unit and do what he does best, which is, of course, just being that playmaker. And then Quinn Cook could also be in there, but just focusing more shooting and scoring the basketball. But again, it is going to be interesting because Rondo was kind of portrayed as being that starting point guard for us, but now it looks like Avery Bradley is going to get the minutes, which I agree with. It is going to be interesting to see though, because something that I noticed this preseason was that the ball in the offense didn't really flow as well with Rondo out on the court being that point guard as well as it did with LeBron. So I think Rondo's minutes could be a little bit deteriorated just because of the fact that Lakers are really going to be emphasizing shooting, and the fact that Quinn Cook in particular has shot lights out so far and has really played well could definitely, you know, have him kind of take a backseat to Quinn Cook. But again, do think those two players could play together, but it's definitely going to be very interesting to see because if the other guys really step up and are able to make some really big contributions offensively and are really knocking down their threes, and I think the Lakers are going to prioritize that over Rondo and his playmaking ability because they are, as we all know, really prioritizing shooters. And of course, LeBron's going to be getting a majority of the minutes anyway. He's going to be that primary ball handler, have the ball in his hands, you know, pretty much the entire game anyway. So we're just going to have to wait and see. Now, in terms of Quinn Cook coming off the bench and being that bench point guard, I love Quinn Cook. I've really been excited from what I've seen from him. I was excited when the Lakers signed him, so I definitely think he should be that point guard off the bench. But again, I think him and Rondo could play together as well just because they are two totally different types of players. But I know a lot of people are even saying that they would like Quinn Cook to start. But I know, especially after that impressive performance the other night, a lot of people are thinking that Quinn Cook should actually get the start over Avery Bradley. So I'm curious, Laker fam, do you think Quinn Cook should be the starting point guard or the point guard coming off the bench for the Lakers this season? If you think starter, type S, or if you think bench, type B down below. Personally, I think that we should start the season off with Avery Bradley in that starting lineup. Again, he brings a lot defensively as well, so I like what I'm seeing from that starting five, not only offensively, but defensively as well. And just kind of wait and see how the season plays out. But Quinn Cook, if he continues to play at a high level, he could end up being that starting point guard. But for right now, I think it would be better for him coming off the bench. But I want to hear what you guys have to say, so let me know down in the comments below, and I will be responding again to all of the comments. So please leave a comment. I love talking to my Laker fam. Now, before I move on to some more of these questions, I want to let you guys in on a very exciting promotion that one of Chat Sports' sponsors, BetDSI, is offering us Laker fans. Now, BetDSI is one of the leading sports books, and they are offering us Laker fans an amazing deal right now. So if you like to bet on your favorite sports teams, you want to bet on the Lakers this season, any other NBA team this season, or even just the NFL, college football is also here, then make sure to check out our awesome promotion. So all you do is go to chatsports.com/bet, enter the promo code Lakers120. You will get 120% deposit bonus. So that is an amazing offer, a great opportunity to win some extra cash this year. So make sure to check it out. All you do is go to chatsports.com/bet, enter the promo code Lakers120, and again, you get 120% deposit bonus to go play and bet on your favorite sports team. So that's an awesome opportunity. Thank you so much, BetDSI. Okay, but moving on to this next question. It is from @June6, and he wants to know, what do you see as our official bench rotation, since it looks like Bradley, Green, Braun, AD, and McGee will be our opening five? Okay, so the Lakers have a lot of guards. So as of right now, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, because I think, besides Quinn Cook, that guard position is kind of open. Obviously, Troy Daniels played really well for us in that first game, but then he was injured. He hurt his knee. And then, of course, KCP has really been inconsistent, very lackluster so far. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think that point guard coming off the bench could either be Rondo, Caruso, Cook. I think it's going to be Cook, but also Rondo could play. They could play together as well. Then, of course, we have that kind of battle between KCP and Troy Daniels. Once Daniels gets back healthy, if he gets some minutes, if he makes the most of them, we could also see him overtake KCP. Then we have Jared Dudley, who could be that kind of four for us. We have Kuz, of course, coming back when he's healthy, who's going to be in there. If he's not starting, if he doesn't make his way into that starting lineup, Kuz is obviously going to be the main man off the bench. And then we have Dwight Howard, of course, as that center. So right now, if I had to take a guess, I would say that our bench rotation is going to look a little bit like this. We're going to have Quinn Cook, probably Rajon Rondo. We're going to have Kyle Kuzma. We are going to have KCP until Troy Daniels gets healthy. But of course, Troy Daniels could make his, splash once he gets back on the court. And then Dwight Howard. Now, those obviously could be mixed around. But as of right now, I think that is probably going to be our bench rotation moving forward. @ByGDaddy2006 wants to know, do you think Kuzma's foot injury will be a concern this season? I'm hoping not. Obviously, that's something that I've been very frustrated with. I'm very disappointed in the fact that he's been injured, hasn't been able to play this preseason. I know it's bothering Kuzma and driving him crazy as well, so I'm hoping that it's not going to be too much of a problem. But again, we're just gonna have to wait and see. He has been cleared for non-contact practice. I know they're going to take it really slow with him, really make sure that they are being cautious. Of course, they don't want to risk him getting re-injured, so we're just gonna have to wait and see once he is fully cleared and once he's back on the court, if he's able to stay healthy. I think he will be. He's young. I don't see any reason why this would be a continuous injury, as long as they play it safe and they don't rush him coming back. But again, just have to keep our fingers crossed, because Kuz is a huge part of this team, so we want to make sure he's healthy. But as of now, I'm just going to put it out in the universe and be positive that it is not going to be a continuous problem for us. Now, moving on to the last question we have is from @MannyLakeship96. He says, what do you see our record being after the first 20 games? Well, I'm expecting the Lakers to do very well this season. Obviously, there could be a little bit of a learning curve. We could see that those first 20 games, maybe make a few mistakes, so kind of figuring things out. We have to remember this is a newer team, but also the Lakers have a pretty easy schedule. to start the season. They do have a few games that could kind of sway, a few road games. Obviously, that Clippers game, that home opener, that's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a great one. The Utah game, the Lakers home opener is also going to be another tough one. They do play Miami, but I mean, in terms of their schedule, they do have an easier schedule. So if I had to predict, I'm going to err on the side of caution. I'm going to say they're going to go 16-4. Now, I think they could do better. I'm hoping that they do, but I think that's kind of a good starting point just because, again, this is going to be a great team. Expecting them to win a lot of games, but of course you want to give them a couple of games maybe they're playing on the road, or a couple of games maybe they're resting some players, or maybe Kuz isn't back yet, or just a couple of games where they're still trying to figure things out and it's just not their night. But again, Lakers have kind of an easier schedule to start the season, so I think they're going to get off to a pretty good start. But what do you guys think? What do you think the Lakers record is going to be the first 20 games of the season? Do you agree with me, or do you think I am way off? Let me know down in the comments below. That is going to be it for today's mailbag Q&A. Thank you guys so much for sending in your questions. If I didn't get to your question, I promise I will do another one of these again soon. I love doing these Q&As, being able to answer all of your questions. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it and you want to see more mailbag Q&As, make sure to give it a double thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe here on Chat Sports and the new Chat Sports Lakers YouTube channel as well. And until next time, Laker Hannah's out. Bye guys!